हरि ओम् नमः सर्वेभ्यः। अद्य संस्कृत फॉर बिगिनर्स लेवल 2 कोर्स कक्षार्थं भवतां सर्वेषां स्वागतम्। अद्य प्रथमं दिनं वर्तते अस्य वर्गस्य, अतः अस्य वर्गस्य किञ्चित् परिचयं प्राप्य वयम् अग्रे गच्छामः। अद्य पाठः प्रायशः न्यूनः स्यात्, परन्तु परिचयः वर्गपरिचयः किञ्चित् अधिकं वर्गपरिचयं दृष्ट्वा वयम् अग्रे गच्छामः। तस्मात् पूर्वं वयं प्रार्थनां कृत्वा आरभामहे। सरस्वती नमस्तुभ्यं वरदे कामरूपिणी, विद्यारम्भं करिष्यामि सिद्धिर्भवतु मे सदा। गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णुः गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरः, गुरुः साक्षात् परं ब्रह्म तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः। The previous varga we just called it as Bhasha Pravesha level 1. So this varga is continuation to that, but instead of calling it as Bhasha Pravesha level 2, I am calling it as Sanskrit for beginners level 2. That's because we are not just focusing on Bhasha Pravesha alone in this level. We will also try to focus on a bit of Gita Sopanam of level 2 and maybe a few other things if possible. So that's the reason I just generalized this course name as Sanskrit for beginners level 2. In short, there are 4 levels which I can think of. Actually 3 to 4 levels of Sanskrit for beginners I can think of. So this is this series of courses, right? This is purely for the beginners and those who are having zero knowledge on Sanskrit. They can just start with this level 0, level 1 and level 2, and they can pick up the language. So that's the intention here. So these are the 3 levels starting from level 0. So level 0 is where if you don't know anything about Sanskrit, the level 0 is where you actually get started. So you'll have a Sanskrit for beginners series in Sanskrit.Today YouTube channel. You can start from there, or you can also reach out to your regional Samskrita Bharati and you can attend Shibirams to get started on the Sanskritam. So that's the level 0. It gives introduction to Sanskrit and it gives some confidence to speak some simple sentences. That is level 0. And level 1 is Gita Sopanam level 1 or Bhasha Pravesha level 1 or Pravesha a part of Parichaya. So it doesn't mean that all 3 of them is level 1. Any one of them, if you are able to complete, that means you are already at level 1. But if you get more time, if you have more interest and time, you can always go over and complete all 3 of them. That will be really good. And level 2, what I mean here is it's a Gita Sopanam level 2 or Bhasha Pravesha level 2 or Parichaya and a part of Siksha. Okay, and again we are now right now with level 2. We are going to focus on Bhasha Pravesha level 2, but still we will also touch upon other things like a Gita Sopanam level 2. Also we will see some examples. That's why in the course I have given the prerequisites. The textbooks are like Gita Sopanam level 2 and Bhasha Pravesha level 2. And level 3 is again Gita Pravesha level 1 and Siksha and Kovida in the correspondence course level. Of course level 3 is little above than Kovida, but Gita Pravesha level 1 actually matches with the level 3, and we do not have any level 3 on Bhasha Pravesha. The Bhasha Pravesha series stops at level 2. And from Sanskrit.Today we have already materials for all these levels, from starting from level 0 till level 3 we have the materials. And the level 2, what we are currently doing, the same thing already covered for the Gita Sopanam in Sanskrit.Today. This may be a repetition for those who have already attended Gita Sopanam level 2 this Bhasha Pravesha level to this particular course or the Varga will be a kind of repetition for you. But definitely it will help you to refresh the topics. So these are the levels, and this is purely for the beginners, and we will also try to come up with some courses for advanced levels or intermediate levels that will contain some part of Vyakarana and the other Shastras. We'll try to bring in that as well. Alright, so with that, let us move forward. So Vayamedanim Ditiyastare Vayam Smaha. So the prerequisites for this level is you should be good at Devanagari script, because by level 1 you should have have some familiarity with all Devanagari script and the language. So this level 2, the basic prerequisite is to have very good knowledge on Devanagari script. And next, you must have completed level 1 thoroughly. Any one of them which I mentioned earlier, like it may be a Gita Sopanam level 1 or Bhasha Pravesha level 1, or you might have completed a Pravesha or part of Parichaya. Okay, but that is must, and it is also good and must to have more than 80% of completion on that topics. Alright, so next one is you must have some ability to converse in simple Sanskrit. That is very important here, because that's the whole purpose of this entire journey, to learn the Sanskritam. It's not just for reading, we should also improve our ability to speak Sanskritam. So it is must from this level to speak in simple Sanskrit. And the medium of the course would be, we will initially start with both the languages, Sanskrit and English, but slowly going forward, we will try to focus more on Sanskrit conversations. And we will have live sessions, and today is the first session, and generally we will have 2 sessions weekly, but based on the time and the leftover syllabus, sometimes we will have 3 sessions, or sometimes we'll have little longer sessions. So each session is supposed to be for the duration of 1 to 1.5 hours, but initially for a couple of months till you get familiar with the track, we will have only 1 hour sessions, but going forward we may increase up to 1.5 hours. And all the exercises are actually practiced live. Some live during the class hours. We will have some time allocated for practicing the exercises, and we will have some offline exercises on the forum and as well as on the Telegram if time permits. And of course, all these sessions are recorded and uploaded on the YouTube, and in YouTube's videos, we may skip certain conversations on certain exercises and all, just because of some time constraints. But that's why it's always recommended to attend the live sessions. Alright, so the material for this course would be, so basically you can find all the course related stuff in the course page. I think you might have seen this page already. That is where you would have registered for this course and joined the Telegram group. So we will keep publishing the upcoming sessions on this page, and you can also go back and see the previous sessions and the corresponding recordings as and when they are available for viewing. And we also have the forum for practicing our exercises. Basically, every week we used to have 1 or 2 exercises posted on the forum. You can just read the question and read the exercise, and you can actually respond back to the same forum thread as your answers. So that way we can, and I will also try to correct as much as possible. That's about the forum, and please join the Telegram group if you have not joined already. And that is where we'll have some day-to-day conversations. If there are any class-related discussions, we'll have it on the Telegram group. So these are the ways you can actually connect each other. And textbooks-wise, we are going to follow both of them from Samskrita Bharati. 2 books from Samskrita Bharati. That is, one is Bhasha Pravesha level 2 and Gita Sopanam level 2. So these two books are important for this series. But here the way I'm going to take this series would be we will be focusing more on the concepts and vocal exercises, and the book exercises I will leave it to you. You can actually after understanding the topics you can actually go over the book and you can actually solve the exercises from the book, especially from the Bhasha Pravesha level 2. And if you are still interested and eager to know the same topics and same lessons you can see in the Gita Sopanam level 2 as well, you can actually go and solve those exercises as well for your fluency. So that's the idea, but definitely we will again come up with the I reiterate this part when we are actually touching upon the exercises again. So that's about the materials and references. Okay, so alright, so now we will have very short recap of the level 1, that is Bhasha Pravesha level 1 or the Gita Sopanam level 1. So both contain the similar topics. So we completely did complete study of all the vibhaktis in general, like Prathama, Dvitiya, Tritiya, Chaturthi, Panchami, Shashti and Saptami and Sambodhanam. So here primarily we understood the usage of all the vibhaktis, right? But the forms of vibhaktis we learned only for the Ajanta Shabdas, that is the Shabdas which are the Pratipadikams which end with the vowels like Akara, Ikara. Akara ending word will be Rama is Akara ending word and Ikara ending word is Hari. So like that only vowel ending Pratipadikams and their corresponding Vibhakti forms we have studied in the level 1. And when we say Vibhaktis, more than the forms, we actually try to understand the usages of those Vibhaktis, where to use which Vibhakti, that we have studied in the level 1. And that is very much needed for the level 2. If you are not very sure about that, please go back and revise. There's no issue with that. And next important section we have seen in the last one was the Lakaras. So primarily we covered 4 Lakaras in the previous session: Lat, Lot, Lan, Rit. So Vartamana Kala, Ajna Pratana, Bhuta Kala, Bhavishyat Kala. So these 4 Lakaras we have covered because these 4 are very much needed for very simple Sanskrit conversation. That's why these are actually covered in the previous one. And we also covered few pratyas, Tavatu, Tva, Lyap, Tumun. 4 pratyas we have covered in the previous session. And other than that, few minor topics like numbers and 7 question words and upasargas and indeclinables, the avyayams, and other few other sambhashna conversational Sanskrit parts we have studied. So this is the overall level 1 syllabus, and I expect all of you to be familiar with the level 1 without any doubts or confusions. So that will definitely be a good foundation for level 2. Alright, so for level 2, these are all the topics we are going to primarily focus on level 2. So in the level 1, we have studied complete vibhakti for Ajanta Shabdas, but in the level 2, we are going to focus more on Halanta Shabdas. Okay, so for Halanta Shabdas, we will be studying all the 7 vibhaktis and their usages. Of course, the usage will not change. Usage is the same usage, but the forms are different for Halanta Shabdas that we are going to study in this level. And when it comes to vibhaktis, there is something called Upapada vibhakti. So we already touched upon the Upapada vibhakti in the level 1, like Namaha or Sarvataha, Ubhayataha, and these are a few Upapada vibhakti examples. We have already studied a bit, but we will study few more in this level, and we will also study Halanta Shabdas vibhakti forms. And we will also focus on the Sarvanama Shabdas, like Halanta Sarvanama Shabdas. So we already studied Saha, Satat, Teshaha, Esha, Etat, and these simple Sarvanamas. But in this level, we are going to study the idam and others and few other sarvanama shabdas and their forms. Alright, so next Visheshna Visheshya Bhava. Already we touched upon the level 1, but in the level 2, we'll be studying with more details along with the Halanta Shabdas. So that's the change here. And another important part in the level 2 is the Atmanepadi Dhatus. There are two kinds of Dhatus. So one is the Atmanepadi and the other one is the Parasmepadi and the Ubhayapadi. In the level 1, we have studied 4 lakaras and the forms and the usages for Parasmepadi Dhatus. But in this level, we are going to study the same 4 lakara forms for Atmanepadi. So basically, we are going to learn another set of forms of those 4 lakaras, and they are for Atmanepadi Dhatus. And we are going to get introduced to 2 more lakaras in this level 2. So total we have 10 lakaras, and we already studied 4 of them, and now we are going to study 2 more lakaras. One is the Vidhiling lakara, the other one is Rang lakara. So we'll study about them in this level 2. The other one is other important topic here is Karmani Prayoga and the Bhave Prayoga. So they are actually the passive voice sentences. So far in the level 1 we are very much familiar with the active sentences like active voice sentences. So now we'll learn the Karmani Prayoga and Bhave Prayoga. They are actually about the passive sentences. The other one is we are going to learn few more pratyayas in this level 2. That is Tavyat Anir Pratyaya, and the other one is Shatru Shanach Pratyaya. So totally we are going to learn only 4 pratyayas in this level 2. So this is the overall syllabus for this level 2. The main important parts are like the Atmanepadi Dhatus and the Lakara forms. And this is very important topic here. And the other one is there are 2 new lakaras we are going to study, the Vidhiling lakara and Rang lakara. And another that important part here is the Karmani and Bhave Prayoga. And remaining all other topics are like the minor topics, but definitely they are actually important to have strong Sanskrit foundation. Alright, so with that, let us move. So, Adya Vayam Ekavaram Vibhakti Smaranam Kurmaha. Etikte Sampurna Sapta Vibhaktina Vayam Ekavaram Smaranam Kritva Adyatena Patam Prati Vayam Gachamaha. So Balakaha Asti, Atra Balaka Shabdasya Pratama Bhakti Rupam Atra Vartate, Balakaha Balako Balakaha iti Rupani Pratama Bhakto. Atra Balakaha Asti, Atra Pratama Bhaktihi Kimartham Bhavati, Sakshat Yatra Kartrupada Dyotanam Bhavati, Tatra Pratama Bhaktihe Prayojanam Bhavati. So wherever we wanted to express the subject of the sentence, we use the Pratama Bhakti, and that is Balaka in this case. So Balakaha Asti, so Ba is there, so Ba is the Pratama Bhakti form here. And Tatheva Aham Balakam Pashyami, so I see the boy. So Tatra Balaka Shabdasya Dvitiya Bhakti Rupam Vartate, Tatra Balakam Balako Balakan iti Rupani. Punahatra Balaka Shabdasya Dvitiya Bhakti itukte. So it actually indicates the object of the sentence. So Aham Balakam Pashyami, so Aham Pratama Bhakti, Balakam is in Dvitiya Bhakti, so Aham is the Kartru Padam and Balakam is the Karma Padam. So always the Karma Padam is expressed in the second Vibhakti, that is Dvitiya Vibhakti, and Kartru Padam is expressed in the Prathama Vibhakti. So Aham Balakam Pashyami. So these are simple ones. And Aham Kandukena Kridami. So this is a sample for the Tritiya Vibhakti. So Kanduka Shabdasya Tritiya Vibhakti Rupam Kandukena. So Kandukena, Kandukabhyam, Kandukaihi iti Rupani Bhavanti. So wherever you want to express the instruments, or wherever you want to express some instrument through which that particular action is done, then we can use Tritiya Vibhakti. So aham kandukena kridami, I play with the ball. So that means ball is an instrument with that I am playing. So in those cases we use Tritiya Vibhakti. And fourth, the Chaturthi Vibhakti. So balakaya, so aham balakaya madhuram dadami. So I give sweet to the balaka. So again, wherever the dana kriya happens, so the receiver of the dana will generally get the Chaturthi Vibhakti. So here the madhurasya svikarta balakaha bhavati, ataha balaka shabdasya tritiya Chaturthi Vibhakti rupam bhavati. Tatheva atra aham iti pratama vibhakti rupam. And again, aham balakat pustakam nayami. So wherever the separation happens, from which the separation is happening, that particular object or person will be indicated with the Panchami form. So here balaka shabdasya Panchami rupam bhavati, aham balakat pustakam nayami. Tatheva Shashti. So wherever the possessiveness comes, so wherever you want to indicate belongs to or possessed, then we will use Shashti form. So aham balakasya patanam, Kshamitam, aham pustakasya patanam karomi. So I do the study of the book. Okay, so here again the study belongs to the book. So we actually, in that case, we are using the Shashti of the Pustaka Shabda. The same way, aham grihe asmi. So I am at home. So wherever you want to indicate the location, where then that particular location will be indicated with Saptami Vibhakti. So here Griha Shabdasya Saptami Vibhakti Rupam Grihe. So these are the very simple sentences where it shows the usages of the Vibhaktis. So this is one type of Vibhakti, where one type of sentences where we can see all 7 Vibhaktis. So here when we see any sentence, the word which is indicated with the Vibhaktis, they generally somehow connected to the action. So balakaha asti, the boy is present. So again the boy is connected with the asti kriya. And again aham balakam pashyami, I am seeing the boy, I see the boy. So again boy is again connected with the kriya, the spashyati. And aham kandukena kridami, again kanduka is again connected with the krida, I mean the krida kriya. And similarly balakaya madhuram dadami. So again the balaka shabda is linked to the dana kriya. And again balakat nayami, again nayana kriya is linked to this boy. And again pustakasya patanam, again the sashti is somehow linked to this patana kriya here. And grihe asmi, again the griha is connected to this asti kriya, right? So that way wherever we have these connections, we'll use different vibhaktis to indicate different meanings, and these kind of vibhakti forms are generally called as Karaka Vibhakti. So Karaka Vibhakti means if you want to express certain meanings and if they are connected to the kriya of the sentence, then we will use Karaka Vibhaktis. And that Vibhakti which we use to express the meaning of a particular thing which is connected to the action, then we will use we call that Vibhakti as Karaka Vibhakti. And there is another Vibhakti called Upapada Vibhakti. So it is again we use same Vibhakti forms, but these Vibhakti forms are not connected to the kriya. So but we use certain Vibhakti forms to express certain meanings. Let us see some example. For example, margam ubhayataha vrikshaha santi. So in this case, marga shabda is not anyway it is not anyway connected to the kriya. Here it is santi, but it is still taking the Ditiya Vibhakti form. That's because there is a word called ubhayataha in the sentence. Because of the ubhayataha, so we use Ditiya Vibhakti form. So remember the previous case, we use it here in aham balakam pashyami. There balaka shabda is in the dvitiya form. And that's because the balaka is the karma padam in this sentence, and it is connected with the kriya. That way it is a Karaka vibhakti, so we give the dvitiya vibhakti form. But here marga is not a karma padam and it is not connected to the kriya, but still we give the dvitiya vibhakti form. That's because it is connected to the certain word called ubhayataha. So basically these kind of vibhakti forms are called as upapada vibhaktis. That means the upapada means the pada present near to it. Based on that, if it takes a special vibhakti form, then it is called upapada vibhakti. So margam ubhayataha, because of ubhayataha present next to the marga, the marga shabda takes the dvitiya vibhakti form. And we have seen these examples a bit in the level 1. I'm just giving a revision here. The next one is balakena saha mata gacchati. So here again, balaka shabda is not connected with any kriya, the gamana kriya, but it is still taking the tritiya vibhakti. That's because we have the saha word, saha upapadam. And even we have another upapadam called vina. Even in that case also we'll get the tritiya vibhakti form that we have seen in the previous session. So balakena saha mata gacchati. The other one is balakena vina mata na gacchati. So without by, mother does not go. So here again the balakena is in tritiya form. That's because we use the vina upapadam. So it gets the tritiya form. That's why it is called upapada vibhakti. And next one is devaya namaha. Again we have namaha upapadam. Because of namaha upapadam, so we get the deva shabdasya chaturthi vibhakti rupam, satah devaya namaha iti bhavati. Tathaiva dhyanat param shantihi bhavati. Atra param iti upapadam vartate. Ataha tasmat purum et no chet tat sambandhitam padam et bhavati dhyana shabdaha. Dhyana shabdasya pancham vibhakti rupam bhavati. Ataha dhyanat param shantihi bhavati. Atra punaha upapada vibhaktihi vartate. Punaha devalayasya purataha. Atra purataha iti upapadam vartate. Ataha devalaya shabdasya shashti vibhakti rupam. Ataha devalayasya purataha vrikshaha asti. So evam udaharanani bhavanti. So this is the difference. This is the main difference we need to understand. So if any vibhakti form takes because it is linked to it is connected to the kriya, then it is a karaka vibhakti. Or if you are using any vibhakti form just because of a word present in the sentence or any upapadam present in the sentence, then it is called as upapada vibhakti. So this is a very high level we need to understand. In this level 2, we will be learning a few more upapada vibhaktis in this level 2 sessions, and we'll also learn halanta forms of various vibhaktis. Okay, that's primarily on vibhaktis side on the level 2. So in our book, if you take a Bhasha Pravesha level 2 or Gita Sopanam level 2, the first chapter is about Upapada Vibhaktis. And maybe we'll start from there. The first set, basically I'm taking in a different order. It's not in the same order as given in the book. I'll just go in different order here. The first I'm taking is Purva and Para. So these two are actually the Upapadams. And Purva means the before and Para means after. So let us see some examples, and before we see the example, we'll see what is Purva means before and after. Purva is before and Para is after. And when we use Purva or Para, to which it is before or to which the after, that particular object is expressed in Panchami Vibhakti. So for example, Mahabharata Kalat Purvam Ramayana Kalaha Asit. So Ramayana Kala is before the Mahabharata Kalam. Okay, so to whichever object or the person or object or whatever it is, if you want to specify before that or before after that, in those cases that particular word gets the Panchami form. So Mahabharata Kalat Purvam Ramayana Kalaha Asit. The next example is Sankhya Yogat Purvam Arjuna Vishada Yogaha. So Arjuna Vishada Yoga is before to the Sankhya Yoga. Okay, and another example is Devalayat Purvam Bhavanam Asti. So Bhavanam is just before the Devalaya. So to whichever it is before or after, that will be expressed in the Panchami, and that is the Upapada vibhakti. That's because it gets the Panchami form because of the word Purva or Para present in the sentence. The next example with the Param, Devalayat Param Vrikshaha Asti. So after the Devalaya, there is a tree. Again, another one, Gitopadeshat Param Arjunaha Yuddhartam Utsahate. So he attempts to, he gets up or gets ready for the Yuddha. Arjuna gets ready for the Yuddha after Gitopadesha. And again, Yuddhat Param Dukkham Bhavati. So after the Yuddha, the sadness, sorrow happens. And Dhyanat Param Shantihi Bhavati. After Dhyana, Shanti happens or Shanti is present. So here again, wherever you want to express after which, like after what, that particular object or person will be indicated with the Panchami, and this gets the Panchami because the Param or Parashabda is present in the sentence, so it is Upapada vibhakti. Okay, and again remember, it doesn't mean that if para shabda is present in any shabda, any other word will get the Panchami. That's not the case. Whichever is linked to para, like here in this case, after or before is the meaning of para. So after what or before what, that particular object, after which or after before which, that only that object gets the Panchami form. Okay, and that is expressed in the Panchami form, and it is called as Upapada Panchami. Okay, this is one thing, and another thing with the Purva and Para is, if you check the dictionary, there are two forms of Purva and Para Shabdas. The one is the Avyaya form, and that is Purvam and Param. The other one is the Anavyaya form, and that is that will change according to the gender of the word. Like it will change, like there are three genders for Purva, like a Purvaha, Purva, Purvam. And similarly for Param, we have three gender forms like a Paraha, Para, Param. Okay, so you can choose to use either one of them. Either you can use Purvam in all genders, that becomes the Avyaya usage. Anavyaya usage is, if you know clearly which gender to use, you can go and use that particular gender like a Purvaha or Purva, Purvam. Okay, this is the one thing. And how do you know which gender to use, and based on what we choose the gender? Okay, so that will be decided by the other word. For example, Mahabharata Kalat Purvam Ramayana Kalaha Asit, the one which is present before, okay, and that is the Ramayana Kala. Sorry, one which is present after this, like in Ramayana. So here in this case, based on the Ramayana Kala gender, the Purva gender will change. For example, Mahabharata Kalat Purvaha Ramayana Kalaha. So if you want to use gender specific Purva Shabda, you should actually see the gender of the other word, that is Ramayana Kala. So accordingly you have to use the Purva Shabda's gender, like a Purvaha. So Mahabharata Kalat Purvaha Ramayana Kalaha Asit. So this is also correct. And similarly, Mahabharata Kalat Purvam Ramayana Kalaha Asit. This is also correct. The first case we are using Anavyaya form of Purva Shabda, and in the second case we are using Avyaya form of Purva Shabda. Hope this is clear. Okay, so in safer side, if you want to use, you can always go with the Avyaya form, and if you are very sure that if you are very sure about the gender, and if you are also sure that it is going to be the Visheshanam for other word, then you can use the gender specific Purva or Parashabdas. Yeah, let us do one thing. We will take a short exercise here. Just try to frame your own sentences with Purvam or Param here in this session.
नववादनात् परम् अहं पठामि.
सम्यक्.
नववादनात् परम् अहं पठामि.
Okay, so here
परीक्षायाः
yeah, go ahead, complete your sentence.
परीक्षायाः पूर्वं पठनम् आवश्यकम्.
परीक्षायाः पूर्वं पठनम् आवश्यकं. This is also correct.
दशवादनात् पूर्वम् अहं पाकस्य समापनं करोमि. शुद्धं वा?
या सम्यक्. दशवादनात् पूर्वं पाकस्य समापनं करोमि. सम्यक्.
हरि ओम्.
हरि ओम्.
ग्रीष्म ऋतोः परं वर्षा ऋतुः भवति.
अस्तु. Can we apply विशेषणभावे here?
Yes sir, I think so. It will become ग्रीष्म ऋतोः परः वर्षा ऋतुः भवति.
सम्यक्.
रामावतारात् पूर्वं परशुरामावतारः
आसीत्. सम्यक्.
हरि ओम्.
ओम्.
पुस्तके लेखात् पूर्वं कथा अस्ति. अत्र पुस्तके लेखात् पूर्वा कथा अस्ति इति वक्तुं शक्यते.
Yes.
लेखात् पूर्वं कथा अस्ति तथा लेखात् पूर्वा कथा
अस्ति. Both are correct. Yes.
And so suppose we have बालकस्य पूर्वं बालिका तिष्ठति. वक्तुं शक्यते वा? बालिकात् पूर्वं बालिका तिष्ठति. बालकात् पूर्वा बालिका तिष्ठति.
No. It should be comparable. It should be comparable first thing. And second thing is, in your case, it will be puratah or prishtatah. That's the right way. So, balakasya puratah balika tishtati. Alright, so I think that's all about all the exercise items. So we complete the first session today. We have seen some introduction about the course and the varga. And we also done some revision of the Prathama Bhaga. And we have also seen what we are going to study in this level 2. And we started this lesson on Upapada vibhakti, and we covered only 2 Upapadams in today's session. That is Purvam and Param. Astu. Dhanyavadaha. वयम् अग्रिमकक्षायां मिलिष्यामः.